usually the better way.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
but he said,
Hi, dear.
Hello.
good
How are ya?
morning.
Okay,
Good
how are you?
evening.
I'm here.
Okay, me too.
My favorite place to be.
Me too.
So
Unfortunately,
he
not
said, I
getting
told
paid.
Shauna, I think you better take me to the hospital.
You know what?
He said to Shauna, I think you better take me to the hospital.
That's
Afternoon,
scary
Jim.
though.
I said, now the truth comes out. Phew.
Holy cow.
Memphis got the checks. I put them on his seat.
Seven o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting in order. Welcome everybody to the December 10th, 2024 Gres Township Board of Trustees meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, board comment. No
Welcome,
comment?
everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all I've got.
Happy holidays.
yeah.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Board of Review was today with our new assessor. That went well.
They went very well, very smooth, had all the information we needed, that the board needed. Yes, it was very good. All right, anybody else? All right, has everyone had an opportunity to review the agenda?
I make a motion to accept as written.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Public comment. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. Be respectful to each other. Any comment? Yes, sir.
Keep you all. A few months ago, I come and asked the board about the smell and the complaints about the marijuana in town. And you guys said you were gonna look into it. And if there's still terrible smells, what has the board done?
You want me to comment?
Sure.
Okay, so Keith, and everyone else, we did have a meeting as a planning committee with them. They did do a few things to help that out, and it was good for a couple of months. I noticed it about a month or so ago, again, getting very bad. I spoke with two of the individuals over there that are in charge, and they already had in the works some charcoal filters and things that they're going to use, plus the other apparatus that they had put in. They had to change those. So he stated that he would get back with me about December 6th. And I have not heard from him yet, but they were installing more things.
But
And-
nothing has been installed since that month.
Oh.
'Cause it's bad again.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
terrible.
Like I
terrible
said, I
again.
was on the phone with him twice during a week.
So who's in charge of going over there and taking care of this? Because there is a zoning ordinance against the
Yes.
smell, right?
There is.
Yeah. So who's in charge and who takes care of that?
I guess that would be me as zoning, as marijuana administrator. We
Okay.
actually work as a team, but,
Okay.
because we did meet, like I said, we did meet with them, told them about the issue and everything, and so.
And I have been
And then,
handling the
the-
phone calls just because
right.
I'm on the planning committee. They've been responding very well.
Yeah,
And they're
I'm
really
surprised.
working on the situation.
Well, they've been there for
So,
a long time, and
they
I
have,
think them charcoal
yes.
filters were supposed to be in to begin with.
Yes.
And they
Probably.
never have been. Like I told you before, I run probably the biggest walleye tournament
Right.
series in the country. I am gonna go to the city of Gres and ask them to really fight against this board to get this taken care of right away. If this does not work and this smell continues, we're gonna pull everything from this town. And we're not gonna ever come back. I am a lifelong resident here. I've lived here for 50 years, and this is pretty much, I have brought a lot of people to this town.
Amen.
And I mean a lot.
And I
And
have,
a lot of money to this town.
yes, thank you.
And if this cannot be controlled, the people that fish our tour do not wanna come back.
Well, we will stay on it. I did let him, I reiterated the fact about what you had said in one of our meetings, and he knows that it's a problem and it has to be taken care of. So they are working on it, and you can call the office here anytime.
But you haven't put them on a time frame.
Yes, he told me that he would get back with me this week.
December 6th,
Yes,
and today's the
Okay.
10th.
the 10th. But I have been speaking with him. Okay? So they are installing them. And I will call by Friday again. Okay? If you'd like to leave your phone number with me at the end of the meeting, I'll be glad to get back with you.
I will, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody
Thank you.
else?
Yeah, I'll add on to that, what Mr. Duval was saying is, yeah, the smell has been going on for a long time and no time frame has really been put on them, or no pressure has really been put on that company. The smell is kind of like a minor thing. The major thing I would say would be them overflowing their septic tank 10,000 gallons a day for over 2 years into the marsh next door. The township has done nothing about it. It finally took for the state to come in to do, when one of the employees said something to the state, turned them in. The Eagle comes out and finds out they've been overflowing over 10,000 gallons a day into that marsh for over 2 years. I have the documents with me if you would like to look at them. And we do have a marijuana enforcement officer sitting right here on the board, but he doesn't. When's the last time that you have went and inspected the facility besides this just recent time? I mean, do you make regular?
I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't, it's not even on his radar. It's not a thought, and it's really disappointing to see. You guys brought this here, you allow it to happen. You guys are poisoning our aquifers and poisoning our land and poisoning our air. And in addition to those two things, they installed a 1 megawatt generator without any permits. No permits to check the emissions of it, so they're also polluting the air with noxious gases, sulfuric gases. It's a huge problem, and it's just sad to see the township just, oh, we're working on it, we said something to them. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, thank you. Approval of the minutes from the November 12th, 2024 Board of Trustees meeting.
We'll just have two small changes.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought we caught them all. Okay, go ahead.
Zoning administration report, first line construction, and then A has to be struck out of there. And then on the second page, Linwood Cemetery report, on the second line, benches are now installed, R has to be put in.
Where was that?
Second page,
Yeah.
under Linwood Cemetery, second
Yep.
line, benches, and then R now installed. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 12th, 2024 Board of Trustees meeting?
I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion.
A second.
We have a second. Any further discussion?
I'm just putting it in as corrected.
Right.
Okay. Mhm.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payment of the book of bills.
I make a motion to accept book of bills as written.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of paying the November 2024 book of bills, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Funds balance as of November 30th, 2024, the general fund, 175,550.64. Road fund, 153,554.68. Water fund, 8,156.76. The ditching, 27,800.08. The trash fund, 59,587.63. Tax fund, 12,742.67. Mosquito fund, 75,483.78. And marijuana, 241,173.25. We redeemed last month the CD for mosquito, and put that, or correction, yes, we redeemed the mosquito, put that back into the mosquito fund, and that last bill has been paid, I believe, on that mosquito fund. The gypsy moth, that was rolled over again for, I think it was another 6 months, yes. And then you see our CDs and our money markets, they're doing well at this time. We're getting 4% for the most part. The money market's down, of course. And then our total funds, 1,495,203.96. And then at the general fund, you see the total down at the bottom in red. And that is our general fund total with the money market CDs and the general fund that's in there. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion to approve the report.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Board reports. The Augrey Sims Whitney Fire Board meeting was held at the Augrey Fire Hall. The meeting was called to order by Alan Pecan. Olin Schwartz wasn't there. Tom Brandamore gave the treasurer's report. The board members signed the payroll checks for the firefighters. The fire board, or Augrey Township, partnered with the fire board to request 2% money from the Saguenay Eagle tribe for air cylinders. The tribe gave us $5,000.
Yay.
Kurt Emmerich reported the firefighters responded to 6 calls during the previous month. 2 calls were personal injury auto accidents. 1 was a chimney fire. 2 calls for people burning leaves, and 1 was for about 2 acres of property in a wooded area. The next meeting will be held at on January 15th at Whitney Township at 7 p.m.
What about this month?
This month, the meeting is next week, the 21st.
Okay, you
Yeah,
just skipped right to January.
Yeah, I jumped to January. Anxious to get this year over. I'm sorry about that.
21st is the next meeting?
No, I have that right here.
19th. Thanks, Benny. We got it.
No,
Got it.
January 19th.
Is that at Whitney or Augrey?
December.
Wait, you
That's
said
That's
December
all.
19th.
December 9th.
You said January 15th
Yeah,
for the next one.
yeah, jumping a month ahead.
So it is on the 15th in January when that comes out.
And
Yeah.
December 19th, right?
Got it. Okay.
December 19th. Sorry about that.
No, not a problem.
And just the way I had it typed too.
All right.
Is it at Augrey or Whitney?
That'll be at Augrey, yes.
Augrey on the 19th.
It's an open meeting, everybody is invited. Just the way I had it typed, so.
Great.
All right, charity drop.
The day after Thanksgiving, which was, what, November 26th, I think? They had the Santa parade in Standish, and there was a large crowd. And last weekend, last Saturday, they had the Santa train, and I understand there was about, they said 200 people. I don't know if that was 200 children or 200 people. They gave out gift bags, so I'm assuming that they were counting by the number of gift bags they gave out. But anyway, it was a ball. It was so much fun. The Santa is really good, and I was standing close enough so I could hear what the kids were asking Santa for, and
All
he's,
right.
he's very tactful. Somebody asked for a cell phone, and he says, there's a bill with the cell phone. I'm just giving you a brief example. There's a bill with the cell phone, you got to ask your mom and dad about that, because who's going to pay the bill every month? And he was just, all kinds of things like that. He was really good. It was really fun. I really had a good time. So, he was there. The train arrived at 9, and by about 10:30, I think the kids had all seen Santa, and they were out of there. But it was great. It was really fun. So
So all the kids actually got to see him.
what?
All the kids that came, I always wondered if some got turned away
Oh,
because of the schedule of the
No, we
moving
stayed.
onwards.
We stayed
So that-
until all the kids were through the line, and yeah, he's really a great Santa. So
Parking lot was packed.
yeah, there was a
I
lot of
drove
people.
by there and
Yeah, there was a lot of people. It was fun. It was great fun.
thank you.
Oh, one more thing.
One more thing.
I'm sorry. The courthouse, the Omer Courthouse, is having their fresh greens and bake sale this next weekend, Friday and Saturday. The gals get together and they make these beautiful arrangements, and also lots of good baked goods for this time of year. So, if you have time, stop in and see what we've got to offer.
19th and 20th? No,
13th and 14th.
This coming
I'm
weekend.
on 2025,
Yeah.
so,
Get out next year already.
Yeah.
thank you.
oh, good, a calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yep. So, and I put it there.
Thank you, Jan.
You're welcome.
Zoning administrator.
Good evening. Two permits over on M65, properties are about a quarter mile apart. One was for a modular and the other was for a pole barn. The pole barn, the people live up in Sims Township, and they're not allowed to have a pole barn on their separate lot. So that's why they're putting it down here. I met with a property, with a fellow that was looking at property over on Swenson, and we had a lot of phone calls and a good hour and a half meeting with him over there, and I don't know what the outcome is. He asked about different permits, and because there's an existing septic system, he asked about getting rid of all the fragmites, and I did tell him that what we've been doing up on Booth, and then also we had a permit over on Booth, the brand new house, and they've decided to add a separate garage, a 3-bay garage, so that was a new permit there. And Canto is, Derek Canto is working on that project. The new pole barn over on Point Out Gray Road was, I stopped by and waiting for the electrician to come in that day so he's come right along on that, the same on Santiago. The modular I heard has not been moved in yet, but they've cut down some trees that to make room for it, so I'm still waiting on that one, so.
That's the one on 65, M65,
On 65,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Behind the jerky
So
outlet.
Pat brought it to my attention
Yep.
that she asked me the other day what was
That's
going on there.
up the road from there,
Yeah.
north
Oh,
of
well, you
Nagle,
showed me that day.
north of Nagle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's about it. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet. A few phone calls here and there, but nothing going on right now. So,
Thank you, Art. Linwood Cemetery.
Okay, in the cemetery, we have found out, the supervisor found out that our waste baskets, there's a hole in the top where you throw your trash in. It's collecting water. And being short, I can't see down in there. You gotta be a little taller. And so what we've done is we've ordered a top to go on it, and you have to push in on the top. They had a top that stuck up, but we figured rain would get in there. Well, they said, you talked to
They
them.
said, they said that actually wouldn't work with the top that we have. So what we ordered will replace the cover, and like Penny said, it'll have a flap and it'll keep the snow and water out, so.
So the top will be totally covered,
It will be.
so. So other than that, everything is quiet there.
As it should be.
Yeah, yeah. It's a peaceful place though, it is just to drive around.
Those neighbors haven't been noisy at all lately.
No. Anyhow, thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
Any old business?
I didn't have any.
No? Okay. Let's move on to new business. Who wants to take that? Jessica?
I'll go,
Landry.
I can go ahead. So last month, we made a resolution in order to agree to the, we have a new assessor. Barbara Jones is gone, Jessica Landry is in. She's the one that was doing board review today. She's very efficient, we like her a lot. And she's handling a lot of things that maybe were not quite complete at the end of Barb Jones's term, who has served as the assessor since at least 2010 when I came on board. And anyway, so last month we made a resolution to agree to the contract, her payment that's in her contract. So we made it official. However, there was nothing in that got her pay for a land division or a combination. So we have we checked with her. She supplied us with a new form, different from the one that we've used in the past, but said she didn't have any issue with using the same cost, which is $150 for a land division or a combination. So I will make a motion that to agree to pay Jessica Landry, assessor, $150 per land division and or combination.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second to pay Jessica Landry $150 per land division. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, approval of the monthly board of trustees meeting dates for 2025.
Okay, so you see the flyer in your packet. This is what we would put on the board. I would have put it in everybody else's, but we have a conflict about the,
November 11th.
about November 11th, which is Tuesday, obviously. And,
That is
of course,
Veterans
and,
Day.
and it's Veterans Day. So we have to decide to either do it the day before, the day after, or the week after, or the week before. We've had issues in the past where the dates that we've always met has a conflict. One year it was the night before opening day in November. And so I don't know whether we just want to, either way, it's rather disruptive to anybody who says, hey, it's Tuesday, time for a meeting, and they don't know. I don't know what, I'd rather see it stay on the same week rather than before or after. So do we want, but I mean, it's a
Yeah.
decision we all have to agree on.
We'll keep
So
it on the same week.
Want to keep on the same week,
Yeah.
good, so
Go with the 12th on a Wednesday.
for me, it's better it's better later than on that early.
How about
For me,
Wednesday the 12th then?
works for me, so I'll make a motion to, we'll have to see if everybody agrees. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to accept the 2025 Board of Trustees,
Meeting dates, yeah.
trustees meeting dates as presented
You should be back to life by then.
but including, I guess including moving the November 11th meeting day to the 12th. And in the motion, in minutes, I'll put that, the reason why, because of Veterans Day.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion, we have a second to move the November 11th meeting date to Wednesday, November the 12th. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Terrific. I'm not sure that has to be a roll call vote for a resolution. I think it does.
Okay.
Resolution, yes.
Yep, I think so. So,
Go-
okay,
Go
so
for it.
repeat the motion to accept the 2025 Board of Trustees meeting dates as presented,
With the-
including moving, with the stipulation of moving the November one to the 12th due to Veterans Day.
Correct.
Okay, so we have Jim,
Yes.
alrighty, and Pat,
Yes,
and Penny,
Yes.
and Jan,
Yes,
and myself. Okay, motion approved, resolution approved. Okay, well, then we can post them as soon as I redo this page, we can stick it on the wall and out in the bulletin board.
All right, thank you, Michael.
And then we'll update the website to go as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Item C, quarterly budget review, third quarter.
So you guys all got this thing. We'll go through it real quick because what I did was Jan generated the report. And this is going to be all of the expenditures from April 1st, the start of our fiscal year, to today, December 10th. And so what I've done is when I've gone through, what I did is I pulled out the last review to make sure I wasn't going to go through anything that we had discussed back at the last review, because obviously we're still over budget. I didn't do any amendments at that time. Okay, I probably will this time in January. So if we're looking at the first page, you see some of them like 512. What we look for that I've highlighted are the ones where the percentage is above 100%. Okay, and then but what we do is we balance our budget by the control group. I know I've explained all this. The board knows this, but I'm not sure about the public. So by control group, we do that. So even if you're over budget on a couple of items, and you're not, but you have an expenditure, you're not over on all of the items, there's a percentage on our sheet here that shows that, like in this first one where we have a over expenditure by 500%, 185%, and 130% under township board control, the actual amount of expenditures of the budgeted, total budgeted amount for that group is only 81.6. So I don't really care. I've checked these so that I could just look at it for my interest, but it doesn't really make any difference. In the end, to the auditors and to our budget process, these are things that we would take into account, these overages, so that we would next year, when in February, when we sit down to work on the budget, we would go ahead and account for these overages, by either upping or seeing why I did with that. So in some cases, it could be an expenditure that is once in 10 years. So we only go by the bottom line of each group. So if you go down to the next one, which I've shown, which is showing the office supplies assessor, 283% over. That was the purchase of the computer for her. And then, but the total on the control group is 83%. So we're well under the budget, and we've got 3 months to go. So if you're at 75%, then you're doing a good job. You're right there in the ballpark range, If you're over, but some of these ones which I have made no notation on, here's Township Board of Review used 36% of their budgeted amount. That won't ever go any higher, except for the pay you guys get. So the one that we're really concerned about is, this is one that I want to explore, is the election expenditure was quite high, but the percentage is quite high. But there's an issue here because it shows a budget of $50. Okay, I'm on the bottom of page 3, if everybody's in the same place. Okay, so that's a mistake of where it's either a typo for what we actually budgeted, or it's like if you look down, so you see the 50 and then you see the 6,000. I'm wondering whether that 6,000 wouldn't be it, but that I believe that Jan and I already talked about it. I believe that $50 has to be a typo, because obviously we knew that we were going to have a lot of workers and everything. Pardon?
who did that?
I don't know. But at the same time, with the expenditures, even with that whatever error or mistake or something like that, the bottom line of that control group is still at 65%.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why for that, though, that is that we have not yet, for any of the elections, gotten a bill from the county for the early voting that the group, that most of the townships in the county had gone ahead and allowed that for the early voting to be done at the county rather at our jurisdiction. There were only 2 townships that did it on their own. The comparative expense is huge compared to paying and the average was about, I found the paperwork just the other day again. I think she was saying she was gonna charge us $2,000 basically to hold it per township, and that's what the $6,000 is budgeted. So this 65% will change as soon as she bills us, but that's down the road. So the next page, we're on 4. You got a couple in here that are under township hall control, but the total expenditure has got, is very, very low. So we're moving on to the last one, which is the one that has some issues, and this is cemetery control. And it's showing that we are 123%, meaning that we're 24% above what we budgeted. Okay, and so I have another, I gave you another little handout sheet that shows, what did I do with mine? That shows the thing that, okay, that shows what was actually expended. And of these 3, these are the ones where I printed a report of what was spent. Professional services has to do with Dominic, and we had Humpert Builders. We paid them $5,000 to be able to put the slabs on for the benches and the thing. You see how that's on that page? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, wasn't that the 5,300 from Humpert, wasn't that part of
That was part of,
money
yes.
that we got
Yeah,
from the
that's-
tribal
Yeah,
distribution?
that's the issue that we've talked about in the past, is that we got 2% grant to pay for the benches, to pay for the installation of the benches and the trash cans that are there, okay? So it was all paid for, but there isn't a way to credit the budget for that, even though it's money that wasn't our money, okay? So the budget, not knowing exactly what we were going to do, we had budgeted $84.50 for that, and we spent, we had budgeted $2,000 for professional services, and then we came up in the middle of the year with the idea that we would, go to see about the tribe paying for some benches to beautify it, and they did. And so now we have this overage that just needs to be updated with an amendment, which is what we do generally during budget time in February. So the other 2 the next one down, which is repairs and maintenance. Wait a minute, am I on that? Sorry, my eyes are crossing. Capital outlay cemetery. We had $10,000 we paid, $1,000 is all we budgeted. We hadn't planned on, it's the same thing with the benches. Okay, so that figure will disappear as well. We're hoping that with the BS&A program, when we change over from QuickBooks, that we're going to be able to account for that. And didn't they say that would be something we wouldn't have to be concerned about, that we could credit the fact that this money is
Like earmarked
is
for a
earmarked,
particular,
yes. Yeah, because we asked them of that
line
when we started to join that. And that was another thing the tribe paid for, was for us to upgrade to the BS&A program. We're still in the middle of that. Okay, then the last, the one I skipped over was the repairs and maintenance, utilities cemetery. And that's that's the middle one that you have, which is, I don't know where it is, but in one case we have, I see what it is. Dominic's got one of his bills in there. See it on that middle sheet that I've given you?
yes,
That's the reason why.
oh, the 2,750?
Yeah, I wondered why utilities would have been, so high all of a sudden. I mean,
Well, on this sheet it says professional services.
I've got it under, you got the 361%. Utility. See the 422%, okay?
Yeah.
That's professional
So 2
services,
down.
and so then down to the
Yeah, down to
361%.
So that
Utilities cemetery,
has to be correct.
I'm not looking at the
okay?
Page 4.
Oh,
And so all that is a misfile.
put it on the wrong line.
So put it on the wrong line, that's all. Okay, so the only two there that really need to, that are really attention, are both related to the tribal grant. So as you go back through the rest of them, that was the only line item where it was above the 100%. And that's
Okay.
all that we need to
I'll
review.
fix that.
Okay,
I'll
so
fix that.
yeah, we'll take care of that. And then on the other ones, if there's any questions on these other ones, I can easily go through and do it, even though it didn't matter to the bottom line. Okay? That's all I got.
Thank you, Michael.
Mm-hmm. The next review will be when we do the budget all over again in February.
February.
I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for the day.
That's always fun time.
Oh, yeah, it's a long day when we go through
All right.
these things. A very
Anything
long
else?
day. That's all I got. Anybody have?
Let's move on to board comment then.
Are you
No?
looking at me?
I would like to wish everybody a
okay.
happy holidays and
Yeah.
all that.
And they wish them to join us for
Oh, yes,
refreshments
yeah,
after the
Barb
meeting.
tagging that.
Yeah. And also you'll see in your packets that, the, ordinance for both the dismantled junk
No,
scrap
they're not in there.
vehicles.
They
They're
never
not
got
in
them.
there.
They're not in it?
No, it was
Okay.
just for us
That's
to
for
review
us.
first.
Okay,
That's
for our review,
For
our
our
review,
information.
okay,
Right, but you can
But I
say
mean,
that we're
not in
working
the
on them and
packet.
everything.
Yeah.
but
They're
that
not in
we
the
are
packet.
working on them.
Yep,
The planning committee
Yep.
switched it over to the board, so
yep,
now it's all up to you. Okay,
to us.
to us.
So that was okay.
Anybody else? All right, let's move on to public comment. Once again, I remind you to keep your comments to 2 minutes. Be respectful to whoever is speaking. Yes,
Okay, Pam Stewart, Linwood Road. I wanna comment about Jessica Landry. I'm on the board of review, and she absolutely made our life as easy. We've never had a board of review go quite that smoothly. I mean, Barb was really good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything against Barb, but I really, really like working with Jessica. She made everything so easy, and it's worth every penny that you guys are paying her, probably more. So, I just wanna say thank you for finding Jessica
Oh, man, yeah,
to
it was
be
excellent.
our new assessor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
one of the better phone calls I made.
Yes.
All right, anybody else? Yes,
Yeah, I'm curious where we are with the contract for the zoning administrator that we spoke about, I think at the last meeting. Because it seems like he's pretty confused about his duties as a zoning administrator. Have we made any progress with that?
No progress.
no progress.
Oh.
As far as we're concerned, he's doing a good job.
He is
Oh, he's
thorough.
doing a great job, because he's repeatedly stated that he has no obligation to visit a property once he issues a permit. In July's meeting, he stated he wasn't sure how the A-frame on Rumsey Road was approved, as it's only a 600 square foot building, and he had nothing to do with it. Was a zoning permit approved by Mr. Gallup? Why wasn't a stop order placed on this building, and how can you build a house without a zoning permit?
It's the,
Not your
Near-
turn. You have to
Not
be
your
quiet.
turn.
Also in July's meeting, Gallup said he had to approve Honest Jeff's A-frames where they are because Honest Jeff required a large area for a parking lot. Our parking lot's typically an option for residential, single-use family residences. The buildings are in clear violation of the zoning ordinance, namely the line of sight. His buildings were built 27 feet in front of my foundation. I have concerns with the zoning administrator when he states out loud in public meeting that Airbnbs are an approved land use in residential district. They are in fact not whatsoever in the zoning ordinance. He is in fact lying to us, he's lying to the public, and at the very least, he is providing false information, and he's stating it as fact. In August meeting, Gallup stated that there is both lakefront and lakeside residential districts, and each of these districts have different rules. I'm extremely disappointed in the zoning administrator's lack of comprehension of the zoning ordinance, and his lack of clarity of his duties as a zoning administrator. And I hope that we can shed some transparency on these important issues.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? We appreciate everybody coming. We wish you a happy holiday, prosperous and safe New Year.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second
A second. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Please join us for
Please
refreshments.
stay and boy, have some of that. I got some coffee in here I can bring out too, so. Yep.
Thank you, board.
This says 25 to 26.
I'm learning.
And looks where it ends is September,
Yeah.
the first day.
Public comment, not public discussion.
Where should I put this?
Don't worry about it,
In
Dan.
the end, yeah.
We all are. Anybody that says they know everything is
In
mistaken.
November for the November meeting.
You got some paper towels somewhere? Sure. We got some spilled coffee.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I'll be done.
So,
We'll do that.
I got her.
yeah, plus I am one that talks a lot anyway. So
Don't
it's
worry about
learning
it,
when
Matt.
to talk.
Yeah,
I have a
I know the
question.
sheriff's names that I can write it down. Do I have to
I
ask?
know this is probably
Yeah.
not the time to talk about it. But,
If it's a budget, Nancy.
Got it.
where are our payments for the election?
Oh, they're with last week.
I can show you, Pam.
Last week,
Yeah, because you guys got paid.
okay, we got paid that night.
Right.
So, okay, that
But-
went on that night
Yes,
then.
because the time frame for this is the day after the previous meeting.
I didn't realize that they went on the last report.
Well, because yours is a little bit different, because yours is on a payroll check.
Yeah, well,
Because you're
that's
an
what,
employee.
yeah, no, I just,
Wait, now you're making me think.
I just wasn't sure.
Well, November 5th, and
The board was the following,
right. Like the 11th,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. So I just don't know. Okay, I was just kind of
No, good,
curious,
no, good point, because
and that's why I didn't want to.
like Bruce and like Donna's on the planning commission, so hers got paid on a payroll check. Yours got paid on a payroll check because you're on the board of review.
Appreciate you coming.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. It's short and sweet. Pretty simple, relatively speaking.
Last month it was
That's what I heard. That's what I was like, yeah, oh, absolutely.
Right, but she's not
there to have
paid position.
I will probably grab a cookie.
Accounts payable check. But let me go look, because now you're making me wonder.
Well, I just,
Let me go look.
I guess when you last name like that, you have Justin for service, right?
and I didn't, and I'm glad you did shut me up,
It does seem like it.
because I was just gonna say just remind him that he's talking about the wrong person.
Did you?
And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I lived here a long time.
Also remember, in springtime.
This place you take over up to Whitney.
Dwayne Pendard and then the guy before him was there.
He runs the water department in Whitney Township.
I'm pretty sure that my cousin Joey is like, was like his best friend.